our parts are in. So, I like saying that. Let's see if I can find. Should work. Some engine oil. And some Q-tips. Alright. Got some Q-tips. And this is really old. But it says easy mix outboard 2-cycle engine oil. Hopefully that is just enough to work right. What we need to do now is isolate our carburetor and our Elco here. Alright, you can see the hole there where the exhaust pressure goes through. Wonder how that works. Oof, let's grab this. Oh, I forgot that's attached to all that. Put that aside. Grab this. Okay, so it's connected directly into the chamber. There's a little hole there. And that connects to this port right here. Through that little hole in the bottom. Which means that is where and how that works. So move that over that way somewhere. Sure. Okay, so that goes down right in there, connects there. And since that has that hole, that goes through here to allow the carburetor to fill up the diaphragm and pump gasoline through the thing. This goes on to here. So we're missing the block, I believe. And this is our new piston, some Loctite, our new gasket for our cylinder. Our gasket and our block. Okay, that has a curious shape there. So it goes in here. Looks like it shares output somehow to there. Let's go ahead and figure this out. All right, that has a weird shape on there. So this actually has some traces of some stuff on there, probably oil. Which means this was up against here. Like so. Okay. If I had to guess, given by that little indentation there, that was probably up like that. And this connected then to there via a gasket. Let's try and make sure that's clean. And if I had to guess, that would be the gasket right there. Okay. Get that all out of the way. Put this aside for a moment. Turns out our little piston, unlike some, comes as a whole unit. And the part number I found that would actually work, hopefully, is 308023001 piston and conrod assembly, which goes out to 984868001. I'm just comparing the two. There's some differences. This one's a little bit bigger in terms of this way. Slightly bigger perhaps around this way, I'm not sure. And definitely heavier. But this whole thing replaces all of this setup. Hopefully it'll help resolve some of the issues it was having. And what I was going to do with this was some Q-tips. Try to oil the bearings a little bit so we hopefully don't run into the same problem. I'll do a quick dry fit, see if this actually does go in here. Looks like it's going to. Just line things up. And that one, the bottom one is definitely not lined up, so let's fix that. Here we go. Goes in there. Top one goes around here to catch the little pins in there. And we're going to face this towards the carburetor because we don't want it to catch on the big exhaust one. Like that. It's a close fit. Alright, it's probably catching these guys. That side looks okay. That looks a little bit off. There we go. Yeah. All the way down in there. Perfect. And back up. Alright. So we'll take this. Q-tip. I'll actually put some oil in here. Really dark curious oil. I'll put some down in here. Just a few drops. Move this around. Try to get that lubricated a bit. Just so that it doesn't start out completely dry. Like that. I'll do the same thing with the cylinder. It'll probably smoke at first, for sure. Until it burns off all this oil. But with any luck, this will keep it from scoring the piston while it's still dry and first starting up. Just like that. Okay. Now, back here, that back. Set that aside for a moment. Well, actually, I'll put it back up here, even though it's kind of annoying there. It's out of the way. Set these aside for a moment. Go up here, undo these screws. I want to check on this gasket. Last I saw it was coming up a little bit. Still pretty well adhered. There's some spots that it's definitely loose. Okay. go get my Holmar. I don't want any of that. Making any of the compression or any of the other stuffs out that we need to functionally run. Should, by and large, hopefully help that seal. I'll put another coat on top. Something like that. All right. That cable is really unruly. Now, let's evaluate how this fits in there. I like that. Okay. And then these guys, make sure the gaskets, not gasket, rings are in the right place with the pins. Okay. Those pins are not very prominent. But so they're both this way, I'm going to put them that way. Towards the intake. Okay. Now let's grab our gasket. Looks so nice, huh? Coming in pairs of 3. Alright. That's so cool. Just like that. Make sure that the hole's nice and aligned. Okay. About like that. And then we're gonna press in on the compression rings around it. Make sure they're still lined up with their pins. Carefully squeeze it, place it where it belongs. Yep. Oh. It keeps falling down, the gasket does. That's okay. Get in there and aligned. Something like that. Right down on all those little sealing spots it has. Like that. Let's go through and make sure what we got in here. Now the exhaust. And this guy Make sure that's it. Use these really long blocks. And well, it's pretty much instant for you guys. It's been a while for me. Gotta wait for all these parts to come in. Okay, so I'm guessing that's it. Do a test fit. Looks like it goes in on the other side. Okay. The reason I'm not using whole armor on that one is because honestly it has its own seal on the gasket, and that's pretty neat. Kind of uncommon. Might be common for homelite, I'm not sure, but majority of the brands don't do that. Okay. Yeah, it's just hitting the old Loctite on there. I'm guessing. Alright. Oh no, it's gonna be a pain. Alright, so I think those are right. So we'll take them out. And we'll apply. I'm gonna watch it. I'm not going with the pink or the white or any of that. I'm just gonna use blue so that if anybody has to take this apart in the future, they actually can without compromising the bolts or having a bad time. Ooh, fresh Loctite. They sealed it up in there pretty good, huh? Yeah. Alright. So it's pretty liquidy. I'm gonna mix it up a bit more just in case. Alright. So you put the cap back on. See if I can't clean them up a little. Same thing on this one. That in there. These things have torque specs. You should definitely follow them. But I don't have a small torque wrench thing for this, or the bit for it. I prefer the handle here, and I'm just going to put them in. Okay. And even the Butter Bear they were to take apart, I'm not that shy. we should be good to go. Put that aside for now. And we should be sealed. Spinner. Sounds good. Feels like compression. Okay. Good news, everybody. Interesting, it does not clear the exhaust port completely. It goes to the very top of the top ring. Okay, so that's back together. Let's look at putting this back together. Actually, I'm gonna put the screws back in here before I forget. So that's the red Loctite on it. Clean those off too. Since we're not even putting the plate back on right now, I'm not gonna worry about it. So we'll take them back off later. Now, flip it back around. Make sure we got this back in place. Okay. Make sure that hole right there, the air intake, is optimal. And I'm actually going to spin this just to see if I can feel any of the pressure coming through there before we go through all that trouble. Nope. No surprise. But I guess if I wanted to put my tester on there, I could. Won't matter. Okay, this goes back on here. Let's see. Got one set for that. This goes onto there. Question will be, is it all going to come out in one piece, or is this part of that? There it is. The rest of it. Okay. Expecting the side or that side, judging by open end. Not certain. Probably don't need that. Just judging by the fact that there's already a gasket here. That has an interesting outline. Kind of matches that. I guess this goes directly on there. Like so. With these guys. So let's clean these screws up. Let me just see. We can accidentally clean them out just by doing this. I'm gonna have to call that good. So, some stuff around the outside here. I don't know what that is. Hold down it. Gasket, I mean. I don't know. But let's put some armor on there and move on. Something like that. Okay, get back in place. The breather hole's clear. And the breather hole up to this gizmo. Little block. Okay, I felt it there. Interesting. So that actually works. Apply some Loctite to that. Wherever I stuck that. Found it. That looks awful. Did I clean that? I know I cleaned that one. Yeah, I can see the abrasion. Alright. Should be good. Same thing on this one. So tell if I use the right cap, huh? That cap goes to my holder. Should be on here. No, tighten them both down until I get them all nice and centered in the right spot. Wiggle a little bit. Sure that's good. And then I'll tighten it down. The washers on them should also help it center itself. Nice, look at that, not too tight because this thing will snap. The fun part will be figuring out exactly how and where the other piece goes. Right here. Okay, so that's got grooves, like it's connected to something that has, okay, that's just from there. Interesting little extendo block here. All right. Now, looking at the airport there, question is, does this go in here? Judging by the little mark it's got on top, is against a flat surface like this. Okay. So that means that this was connected down like that. How interesting. That means we're going to need a gasket there. And I'm not sure where that's at. That is probably carbazite. That's weird. So I put this here. That's different. Wasn't expecting that. How fun. Okay, get those off. Let's figure out which side's which. It has openings here and it has a little thing here. So that looks like it probably went down like this. Well, I'm not sure why. It does fit it. Get those things lined up. Then probably just put some Homer on there too. I don't want air leaks. Why? Why do they put so many layers on this carb from the block? I know you wanted to get it separated for some reason. Probably the case, but as for why it just seems like a really interesting design to put in place. Lots of spots, potential for an air leak to go through. Some Homer on here. And that should help it go nice and tacky and open. I'll use this to try open up the airport again. Okay. That'll be a bit of pain, that's okay. Got my pick right here. Use it to clear the area. Wipe it off. We'll do it again from this side. Wipe it off. Alright, and that should be clear. Center mold, the same thing. Alright. That should be ready. Make sure that matches. Match. Yep. So then this, where did that gasket go? It's right there. Okay. goes into there, like so. We'll put this down on here. And confirm same markings. Wait a little bit. Get down off the threads. Come on. There it goes. Okay. Make sure the breather hole again if we can. Seems good. Take our level gasket again. I'm gonna homer it. First I'm gonna clean it up a little bit because that's a little bit of excessive stuff in there. I don't want to clog anything. Keep the passages clean and clear. Like that. See. That. Just go on there like that. Put it on here. Try to carefully avoid actual air passages as we can. We don't want to stop them up. Go to the other side. Carb meats. Like that. And we'll actually clean this up a little bit. Just to make sure. Okay, looks good. And we'll stick this on here. Like that. Pick. Clean out the hat. Seems clean. We're nice and sealed all the way around. Okay. Gonna grab a carburetor. Let's follow the same procedure. There's a hole there. Yes, there's two holes here, but this one actually leads to the thing we need. Like that. Now we take our little breather cover. A real fun question, I suppose, at this point would be, okay, it goes this way? That's weird. Yeah. So pedantic about getting airflow in here. Why we don't put the Homer on the inside of this? Well, because this is just the air intake. And the mixture happens after this point. Makes it more important on that side. Some here, tighten that down. Tighten this one down. this one down. Tighten this one down. A little bit of wiggle over. Just tight. Teeny ugga. And a teeny ugga. Alright, I'm just trying to secure it on there, not trying to romp down on it or anything. Alright, so for now, I'm going to put the Hulmer away. And plug up the spark plug hole. I'm going to spin it and see if we can make fuel move. Definitely got compression. Guess it's dry. I don't see anything moving. All right. So we got this far, and we got this done. Time to move on. Go ahead and put the cover on here. It has little lips that slide in under here, like that. That's the carpet on. Fun part, we'll be adjusting this out. Junction falls going under here to hold that cable still. And that wire wrapped around it's going to be even funner. Alright. I'm going to have to pull this up again. Just a wee bit. Gonna want to fly it. Do I have a fly head over here? It doesn't look like it. It's my Torx. Huh. The Torx working there? It will. Yeah. Alright. Interesting. Now, our cable through. Means I can lift this up. That just pivots. So the screw on the top of that. That is actually a Phillips. There we go. Now, hopefully the wire will go right through it like that. Now we're talking. Okay. And then I'm going to lift this up. Hopefully. Enough to fit this wire into here to hold it in place. Like that. And we're going to tighten this back down to hold the cable case so that I can actually move cable through it. Like that. Pull that into there. I think that's the pinch point. Let's go through here and try moving it. Yep, that was the pinch point. I could tell because it had a groove in it where the screw was pushing in it before. Let's tighten it down like that. And let's try it out. I might actually go a little. Don't know if I should or not, but I will. Not like that. Okay. Now that's full travel. One tiny ugga-dugga. Okay. that should hold it on. And the rest is mostly assembled on the outside of the case. I'm gonna take a short break and then we'll continue assembling. All right, now we go back right into it. I'm gonna look at the muffler here. Okay. And that actually fits into the case. So what I'm gonna do is grab the case. Let's see how this thing is going together. Okay, so this is the back piece. This is the front piece that connects to the motor. Okay, just doing inventory. This goes into that piece over there, I believe. Seems right. But had a realization. I'm gonna guess this actually goes on like this, with this inside of it. Okay. That makes more sense. So let's grab this and try to figure out exactly how and where things go. Pick this in here. This, I think, we need to go down and around. Which knows this will go around here or around there. And put it like that. Okay. Like that. Give or take. Okay, that makes sense. I like that. So, let's do that. Screw these screws out. I'd like to know where that screw goes. Don't like having extra screws. That just does not fly with me. My best guess is that's actually a case screw. That makes sense where it would fall out. I'd be like, where does this go? I need to figure that out. There's one screw hole that I don't see a screw in on this piece. But that's not a screw, that's where that little dangly piece right here goes. So, right there. Hold that cover on. Found it. It looks different from the other ones, though. Maybe it isn't. Okay. Bet you anything that goes on the case, though, because parts of the case that would be on the inside here, bet you goes on the cover. Because only in that spot was there screws that also would work with a Phillips. That makes sense. Okay, pistons go up and under here. Go up here. That's not up there. Down like that. Okay. Circle between here. Yeah, that fits better. Okay. In there like that. Okay, flip it over. And these screws go in here. Look like that.